Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/slash cheating stories, where OP's wife has been playing him for over 15 years. Let's begin. She left me for an internet boyfriend she's never met. Posted by Reddit user Hot Concept.
I'm 33 and she's 22. We met at work. She was super into me and I was super into her. In the beginning she had weird moments of disrespect and disappearing for a day, but she always made up for it. We eventually started really liking each other and making long-term plans. We both wanted kids one day. I was her first boyfriend and she gave me her virginity. Everything seemed to be going well. Then she started little fights here and there until she said a joke that went too far. In hindsight, I realized she was sabotaging us. I didn't handle that one well, but it was definitely handling without yelling or commotion as usual. She didn't seem to want to reconcile the fight, so she let us break up. I called her because I wanted to work things out. She eventually said she wanted a day to think about it because she said she really likes me, but thought she'd be in love by now. I said love takes time. I didn't wait for the next day. I waited for her to get off of work and confronted her with smiles and warmth. She said it's different in person and hugged me and kissed me and forgave me. I basically made everything my fault because she wasn't willing to fix anything.
Like a little bitch.
She wouldn't let me leave, kept wanting more hugs and kisses. She asked to hang out Monday, it was Friday, and then she also asked to stay the night Saturday. Of course I obliged, then said at work she basically ignored me all day and said her stomach hurt. Didn't come over, then we worked Sunday and she didn't say a thing all day except hi. She was on her work break and smiling, texting someone on the phone. I asked who. She said oh, just some fat guy in Canada in my group chat. I said oh and left the break room. We gave each other a blank weird look when we passed each other later. She left work that night without saying goodbye for the first time. That was the last I ever saw her again. It's been 3 weeks, never here to get a call or text back. Last I messaged her was 2 weeks ago. She hasn't even been back to work since. I found her Twitter account. Looks like she's been talking to this guy she's in love with for a year. He lives in Canada. Dude is 100% a downgrade. There's a tweet calling him B. It was posted 3 days after the last time I saw her. Imagine being left for an internet boyfriend. She doesn't know I know. I feel betrayed for the 100th time in my life. She was talking to him midway through our relationship. I guess he ghosted and then came back. And now he's back online. She's been waiting to leave me. It seems he's always ghosting her then coming back. He's got her wrapped around his finger like a puppet. I cared for her so goddamn much. The pain lingers like a stench you cannot remove. I wish she told me the truth. This deceit and betrayal from someone I was growing to love murders me every night. She is like the wind, nowhere except everywhere when you stop to think. I want an apology. Remorse. She never gave us a real chance by secretly messaging this guy behind my back. Should I confront her and tell her I know?
OP, stop wasting your time with this hoe, and I want you to understand that this chapter of your life is closed. There is no way you can take her back and still have your self-respect. When she comes crawling back to you after the guy pumps and dumps her, and trust me, it will happen soon, kick her back to the streets where she belongs. And now for today's second story. I caught my wife cheating after 15 years. Posted by Reddit user Ancient Putt.
I've been married for 15 years to my wife. We have 2 kids and I don't know how to really start this, so here we go. Me and my wife were childhood friends, not like we were close because we really didn't notice each other much until high school after mutual friends started dating, and we saw each other a lot more after that. At first we were friends and then after I grew a pair of nuts, I asked her out and she said yes. A little confession, I had a crush on her before the friends started dating, but I kept it to myself. We started dating out last 2 years of high school and planned to go to the same college, but after figuring out that her school didn't offer the same program, I had to head to another one. Should have seen a problem when the school I picked had her same program, but she told me that it wasn't a place she sees herself. We tried the long distance for a while but I really didn't work, so we called it a quits while we were in college. After a few years and I graduated from school, we surprisingly bumped into each other during a visit back home. Conversation sparked up a passion of interest, so we stayed in contact talking almost every day and reigniting each other's passion with each other, and it wasn't long where she had moved into my apartment. It did seem pretty fast now that I think about it. but I can't lie, it just felt right at the moment. My career was going well and she was just about to graduate for her degree, so everything seemed right.
By the end of this, you are going to be crying like a little bitch.
Now during this time, she had a male friend that I called him and he was extremely attractive. Like, this guy is a player and I kinda didn't trust him. Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't trust him at all and I hated that my girl was his friend, and we had many conversations about this, and she promised me, damn near swore to God himself, that she had no romantic feeling for this guy and they were strictly friends, and that if I really trusted her, that I wouldn't worry, believing that I should trust her and know that she wouldn't do anything to sabotage what we are building. Now let's fast forward. At this point my work and home life is competing with each other. The kids need me for this, but I have this and that to do by the end of the week. And I'm not gonna lie, I made my mistakes, maybe leaning too hard on her or not telling her how much I appreciated her, but I always thought it was implied. So one day, I come home from work and as I walked in, I hear her laughing and giggling as I head into the kitchen. I noticed she was cleaning the dishes and him was sitting at the island talking to her. As I walked into the room, a slight quietness entered with me, almost like I was the guest in my house, but they both quickly greeted me, not suspiciously, but enough to fill the silence. Now me and him wasn't friends, but we had a conversation on my uncomfortable feeling about him and my wife, and it wasn't long or combative, it was short and simple. Looking back now, he probably got a good laugh at me, but after a few minutes he left and it was me and my wife, and now at this point I don't know if she was already with him or she was just mad at me for not helping out a lot. But when I went in to get close to her or show her some intimate touch, she rejected me with "I'm tired, had the kids all day," or she would start a random argument about something that was so small. This has been happening for the last 6 months, until I just got to the point and asked, is there someone else? And this is where hell broke loose. She called me every name in the book and even brought up some insecurities that I had, and if that wasn't a sign, she didn't talk to me for about a week after that. At this point I knew there was something going on, so I knew I had to figure it out. So I booked her a spa day on my day off and made sure she was completely pampered, and while she left the house, me and an electrician buddy placed small cameras around the house. Now before you say I wouldn't have done that, I would have left, and you're right, but I was praying that I was going too far. I was hoping that I'll record for a month or 3 and see that I didn't get anything and then know that I'm a dumbass with a great woman that loves me. She came home smiling and even gave me some attention. I thought that maybe the spa day was all she needed, some time to wind down. It was almost like back in the day while it lasted.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
So after 2 months of recording, I didn't find anything and I was so happy, feeling like a dumbass for putting these cameras in my house, so I stopped watching the cameras for a while. They were just there, completely out of sight, out of mind. Until one day I get a notification on my phone, telling me that something in the house was ajar or something like that, so I thought I'd check the cameras since I can see if one of the kids had broken something. As I was flicking through the camera, I stopped on my front door noticing a black pair of shoes next to another pair, as it didn't look like none of my shoes just from what I can see. So something in me said go to the bedroom camera. As I look at that camera, there was no one in there and the bed was still made. For some odd reason I just kept flicking through the camera, and then I caught my wife coming out the laundry room with him behind her. She fixed her clothing and he was buckling his pants. My heart shattered as I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Everything inside of me wanted to go home and kill both of them. I'm not gonna lie, but I thought about my kids and how losing both parents won't benefit them. So I shut everything in my office and, ashamed to say, I cried.
Wow, like a bitch.
And that's what Frieza said.
Can't say how long, but long enough where my eyes felt like they were swollen, and after that, I knew what I had to do. So as I'm heading home, I'm trying to compose myself for this argument that I know was coming. I called a friend of the family and asked if the kids could stay over for a while so that we can talk. They agreed, and as I arrived home, my wife was cooking and I can still smell the food like a prisoner's last meal. As I sat down, it was a silence. As I looked at her, I pulled out my phone and showed her the video of her and him coming out the laundry room, and all I said was why. At first she tried to lie even with video evidence, but after a while pursuing it, she finally broke and told me the truth, that her and him has been sleeping together the last 3 years we've been married, and she could be pregnant with his child, and that she's sorry I had to find out like this, but since it's all out, she wants a divorce. It hit me hard because I came from a broken family and never wanted my kids to feel the struggle of separated family, but after hearing that I got up and went upstairs as I felt defeated. I've worked my ass off and did all I could to place this family on a pedestal, and it felt like someone just kicked it from under me. I wanted to harm myself so bad when I figured that out. But God works in mysterious ways because my daughter called me and told me that she loved me, not in those words, but it was what I needed to get better.
OP, DNA test those kids because most probably at least one of them is not yours. And then I want you to get a lawyer. Get an STD test done as soon as you can and get the best deal right now while she is still in the affair fog. Look, man, she has definitely been fucking him way more than just 3 years. She has been using you as an ATM for a decade and a half, so show no remorse. Make sure you show all of the evidence to the affair partner's wife. Blow up his family just like what he did to you. Go scorched earth. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.